Wind. Noun. The perceptible, natural movement of the air, especially in the form of a current of air blowing from a particular direction. Wind is a part of our everyday life, and it is constantly moving around us. There are numerous types of wind, and it can be used for things other than just blowing leaves around. Electricity can be harnessed from wind by employing the use of wind turbines. These turbines are sizable metal contraptions that possess 3 long arms and a central metal shaft. The wind turns these turbines to make electricity.
Harnessing the power of the wind for thousands of years. The earliest recorded evidence of this can be seen over 1,000 years ago in Persia. But these machines have evolved from simple devices used to crush grain and pump water, to towering monsters generating enough electricity to power entire towns. Traditional wind turbines come in many shapes and designs, but they have all given way to a fairly consistent 3-blade design. Today we're going to answer the question, why do wind turbines have 3 blades? We can imagine each blade as a wrench tightening a nut. If we increase the length of the wrench, we can generate more torque. That's the force that causes rotation. Likewise, if we add a second wrench, we can apply even more force. The same principle applies to wind turbines. So naturally, you may think, why not add as many blades and make them as long as possible? The biggest wind turbine has a diameter of 164 meters. Each blade weighs 33 tons, and each costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to manufacture. So more blades equals more weight and more cost. So maybe less blades...
Wind is a renewable resource that is actually a form of solar energy. It does not require a fuel source, that is why it's renewable. Wind is caused by uneven heating of the earth by the sun, causing irregular temperatures on the surface along with the rotation of earth. Wind patterns on earth are altered by the terrain, bodies of water, and vegetation.
Wind has been around since the beginning of time, and people began harnessing it as early as 5000 BC. Some early uses were for wind-propelled boats and simple windmills. During the 11th century, Middle Eastern countries began using wind for food production. As ideas on harnessing wind spread, the Dutch perfected the windmill. The New World settlers used this technology in the 19th century to pump water for the settlements. There was an oil shortage in the 70s, and this situation really put alternative energy sources on the front lines. Today, wind energy is used in our everyday lives, and it ranges from small, isolated turbines to large offshore farms. There are 2 general types of wind, planetary and periodic. Planetary winds are winds that blow throughout the year due to latitudinal differences in air pressure. They involve the major wind patterns throughout the globe. The polar easterlies are cold, prevailing winds that blow from the high-pressure areas around the poles towards the low-pressure areas by the westerlies. Trade winds are extremely steady winds blowing from subtropical, high-pressure areas towards the equatorial low-pressure belt. They are also known as tropical easterlies. They blow steadily in the same direction year-round. The westerlies are winds that blow from subtropical, high-pressure belts towards subpolar, low-pressure belts. The westerlies of the southern hemisphere are stronger and more constant than the westerlies in the northern hemisphere. These 3 winds are examples of planetary winds. The periodic winds are winds that change their directions periodically in tandem with the seasons. These include monsoon winds, land breeze, and sea breeze.
We can convert wind into energy we can use by the use of turbines. Here's a diagram of a turbine. The blades are turned by the wind, which in turn turns the gearbox, and the gearbox transfers mechanical energy to the generator. Then the generator converts mechanical energy into electricity, and the motorized drive turns the turbine to face into the wind, which maximizes efficiency.
Wind energy is harvested by huge wind turbines, which are spun by the wind, thus generating electricity. This electricity can be used for all the same things coal electricity can be used for. Windmills mostly started in Holland but are used all over the world now to create electricity for everyday use. Although wind turbines are relatively environmentally safe and a renewable energy source, they do have some negative effects. Noise and visual impacts are negative effects towards humans. Some environmental effects are the construction of the turbines require lots of open land and can alter how the local environment functions. Another big effect is avian/bat mortality. This is when birds and bats fly into the turbines and die. This happens because of the airspace required for the huge turbines. Another potential issue is if wind speeds get too high, the turbines can malfunction and potentially explode.
Wind energy does not pollute the air or produce any atmospheric emissions. It also produces as efficient electricity as coal. These turbines that turn wind into energy are really large and expensive. These turbines also take up a lot of space and have the potential to kill avian species. These turbines can be improved by having some simple flaps that will change in response to the change in velocity and wind. This will decrease the risk of potential malfunctions. We could add some sort of wall or net around the turbines to make sure that species don't run into them. We could try to use cheaper materials and see if it would work as well. This will save money from not having to repair turbines and also save these animals' lives.